Okay, so today we're just going to do an alternative design for Valentine's Day. Just something a bit different from your standard bouquet. Nice, quick and easy design for you. We've got here a 12-inch heart Oasis pad, and to hide, obviously you don't want to see any of this, so we're just going to hide it with this lovely Hessian ribbon. And to fix that to it, we're just going to use these decorative red pins there. I mean, you can choose what you want to use, but this is a very quick and easy way of fixing that. When you're putting the pins in, make sure that you're going into that hard base, because what you don't want to do is put them into the foam and then they come out. So just try and place them evenly as you go around the design, making sure that you try and get them all level. Going round. When you're working with ribbon as well, it's best to always work off of the reel. That way it reduces your wastage. That's in there. To there. Now if you came to a point or a corner, I would always fix that in. So if you were doing a cushion design and you come to the edge, always make sure there, don't you? So you can see these red pins there are just lifting this Hessian ribbon that we've got here. That didn't go in, that's it. You can feel the difference as well when you're putting that pin in. Whether you've got the base or whether you've pushed it by accident into that foam. So as you look at that, you can see that we've hidden all of that base. Okay, so now we're just going to start like with any design. I've got some leather leaf here that I'm going to be using just for the greenery. So going in and covering your mechanics. Here, cover up that foam. So I don't want this design to be too high. So just putting the leather leaf in. You can break it down as I'm doing, or you can cut it with scissors. Just make sure though that the pieces that are going in to the Oasis are nice and clean, so you've only got stem going in. So this foliage here, just putting in, I'm kind of following the shape of the heart here, just so that it looks a little bit neater. When you're putting your foliage in, make sure that it's going in deep enough so we're not, it's not going to fall out, basically. The last thing you want to do is to gift this to somebody and then bits of your material are falling out. So you can choose to use a choice of foliage, different types of fern, the Ming fern, that would work quite nicely with this design. It depends really, so some of those need to go back. Depends really on how high you want that design to go. So that's no good. Obviously, you need to groom all of your materials before you use them, especially if it is a gift. Okay. So you just fill in. It's fine if you wanted to use longer foliage so it does drape over the side. Let's give you a different look at the end of the design. Again, some of the bits you'll find that the stem's not strong enough, so don't keep trying to push that into the oasis. It's not gonna go. Just use up a few more pieces here. I mean, it is fine if you needed to at the end just to go and backfill a few bits, that's okay. It's better to do that than to send your design out with oasis showing, but it's always the best way to green up or cover your mechanics first. Okay, so we have a look at that and get out of the way. We may well need a little bit more at the end, but we'll see after we've put our materials in. So I'm going to use some red Naomi roses, and I've also got some Hypericum there. So these two together actually look really good because you've got different textures there, along with the delicate fern, you've got the shiny berries and the nice roses. I'm going to start with the roses, and as I said, I want this to be quite a compact design, so I'm going to cut the rose down quite short and just place those in. So for me here, I'm thinking about bringing that down into the point. You don't really want to just put them all standing upright. So let's position the roses just to you can choose, you don't have to use roses for this. You can use anything else that you want. I mean, it's this is a very popular rose for Valentine's, the Naomi. Put that on there, I think. One, two. So try and space them out a bit. You don't really want to put them into a line, but you want to give enough room for your other materials. And if you look at it and you think, actually, I don't like that one there, I'm just going to swap that out, taking care not to keep doing that, because you don't really want to turn your foam into a pincushion. So that's kind of where I'm at. I could probably move that one down a bit there, maybe make that better. And now we're just going to fill in with some Hypericum. So with the Hypericum, I do personally tend to take all the leaves off. I mean, obviously here grooming your materials, like you would remove that, but I take these larger leaves off because they're quite soft, and they don't last very long, and it doesn't look so good. So I'm just going to start with filling in the gaps. And it might be, like I say, that you need to think, okay, well, I should go back and put a bit more foliage in. Don't really want to be wasting any of them, so if they do separate like that one just did, just find a nice little spot to put those in. I mean, it's up to you. You could add a secondary flower if you wanted. But here we're... So like this sort of thing here, instead of just taking those lower leaves off and thinking we'll just put that in there, you're going to want to snip it as close as you can to that. So then you've got a couple of pieces there. Unless you're looking for that height, then that's fine. But if the rest of your materials are all shorter, then you kind of need to keep them all in keeping, really. Also, every now and then, just clear your workspace back a bit. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Makes life easier for you. Put that in there. And also, when you're making a design, turn it around so you can see how it looks from every angle. So if I hadn't have turned that there, I would have missed the gaps here that I've got at the back. And then I think actually I'm just going to put a little bit more. Let's separate those roses up. So by me putting this Hypericum in here, it actually shows up the roses better. Unless your design is just all rose heads, then that's perfectly fine, but just try to break your materials up a bit, separate them, sorry. And I think just to go back in, I'm going to put a few longer pieces of leather leaf in, just so it lifts it a little bit, and also, like I said earlier, just hide any gaps that you might have missed. So we're always thinking about moving the design. Put that in there. Again, just separating off some of those flowers. Turn it so I can see here that where I've put those pieces around the outside, I just need to find some to go through the middle. So this is quite a nice quick little design, as I said earlier, that just is a different take really on the your standard normal bouquet. Let's find some with a nice pointier edges. Just a few more pieces. Okay, so there we go. So there is just a quick heart design there. That is hypericum and roses with the Hessian trim. Okay.